Hey guys, it's Flip. I've done a bunch of how-to videos on my Troy-Bilt Pony, but I've never done an actual review. So after 8 years of using it, that's what I'm going to do now. Here's the yard I've been cutting with it. It's about 3/4 of an acre, including the front yard, and I've been cutting it about once a week for 8 years. So first off, the model number. If you ever wanted to know where the model number is on one of these, it's under the seat. So you just flip the seat up and stickers right here. You can see the model number right here. And then the date of manufacture is right here. You can see this one is made in March 2012. So first of all, I know the new ponies that just came out have some new features that this 2012 model doesn't have, and I'll go over some of those with you at the end of the video. But first, I'm going to go over the specs of this machine and then tell you about the pros and cons that I've discovered over the 8 years of using it. So I'm just going to kind of start in the front and work my way around. So here's your steering rod. This is where you drain your oil. It has kind of gritty floor mats here, which is nice so you don't slip. It's a 42-inch deck. It is side discharge, but you can attach a mulching kit if you like. It's a keyed start. It has a manual PTO and a manual deck lift lever with 5 settings. It comes with a low back seat that is adjustable. It takes a 12-volt battery and it has a rear tow hitch. Here is your forward, neutral, reverse shift lever. This model will not cut in reverse. This is your speed control lever and parking brake, and this is your throttle / choke lever. And this is your clutch / brake pedal. It comes with a metal hood. This is the fuel filter. This is the air filter. I just replaced those yesterday. I also washed it yesterday. That's why it's so clean. It's not normally this clean. This is your gas tank. It's 1.3 gallons. This is your oil dipstick. It comes with a Briggs & Stratton engine, 17.5 horsepower, 500 cc's, and it has a top speed of about 5.5 miles per hour. It's also got a cup holder and a little storage compartment right here. So I've tried to take pretty good care of it over the years. I keep it in my garage so it's out of the elements. Of course, I do all the basic maintenance, change the air filter, change the fuel filter. It doesn't have an oil filter, but obviously change the oil every 50 hours. I've lost the toe pin, so I just use a bowl for that. I do like to haul around my dump cart quite a bit in the backyard. I also lost the seat adjustment knob, and I made a video about this repair. I just use a bolt and some Loctite to keep the seat where I want it. I've only had to replace the battery once in 8 years. I lost part of the deck washout setup here, a little piece that the brass bolt screwed into. Not a big deal. I didn't use that a whole lot anyways. I like to just clean under the deck manually, and I've also repainted underneath. I have replaced the blades it came with gator blades, and I've got a video about that as well. And of course, I've had to replace some light bulbs over the years. That's a super easy process. You just spin the socket, replace the bulb, and then spin it back in. All right, now the pros and cons. So I'm gonna do the cons first and then I'll do the pros. So the first con is that the deck is a little bit annoying to get off, but it's not too bad. The gas tank is a little on the small size. Some riding mowers have tanks that are 2 to 3 gallons, and this one is only 1.3 gallons, which means you're gonna be filling it a little more often. Another con on these is that the drive belts do not look easy to change. I haven't had to do it yet personally, but I've seen people do it, and I'm not looking forward to the day I have to change them. It also does not have anti-scalp wheels, but some of the new models of ponies do. So you just have to be careful when you're not on super level ground so you don't scalp your grass. I've read about some people having issues with these steering rods. I haven't had any issues with mine, but if it does break, it is a pretty easy fix. One thing I don't like about the steering rod being right here And I know this is the same for a lot of mowers made by MTD, such as Yardman and Toro and Murray and Cub Cadet, is that it's right in the way of where you need to drain the oil. So I did come up with kind of a workaround to that by putting a brass nipple in here with a cap on it. Then I use a cut up oil bottle underneath to drain the oil. So I have a couple videos on that if you want to check that out, or you can use like a Sten's drain valve or a drains it hose. Another thing I've read a lot about people having issues with is the belts, whether it's popping off or fraying and breaking, but for whatever reason, thankfully I haven't had any issues with that. I keep thinking this is the year I'm gonna have to replace at least one belt, and it just hasn't happened yet. After 8 years, it's still got the original belts. I know the reality is I'm probably gonna have to change one soon, but at least so far I haven't had to change any belts yet. And then another con, just based on opinion I guess, is that this model can't cut in reverse for safety reasons. So the new model can cut in reverse. You just have to put the key in a separate setting and a warning light comes on, but this model cannot do that. All right, now the pros. I like the fact that it has a metal hood. I like the fact that there's easy access to the air filter and the fuel filter. Of course, I like the fact that I haven't had to do any major repairs over the 8 years I've owned it. I also like the fact that the deck and the spindles have held up nicely. It does have maintenance-free spindles, which I'm sure I'll have to replace at some point, but I haven't had to do it yet. I also like the fact that it's pretty easy to level the deck. There is an adjustment right here for side to side, and there's an adjustment in the front for front to back, and I've got a video about that as well. I feel like it's a pretty smooth ride. I have thought about switching the seat out for a seat with a higher back. I'm also on the original spark plug. Never had to change the spark plug after 8 years. It always seems to start on the first turn for me, even after sitting all winter. But probably the biggest pro for me is the price. It's affordable. When I bought this, I got it from Lowe's, and I believe at the time it was around $1,000. Now they're sold at Home Depot, and I think they're up to around $1,300. But at the time it was around $1,000, and I had a 10% off coupon for moving, so it was only about $900 before taxes. So that was probably the biggest pro for me, was affordability. So as far as the new Troy-Bilt ponies go, there are some things that are the same and some that are different. And just for the record, I don't have any experience with one of the new ponies. I'm just going by what I've noticed on the website and what I've seen up at the store. So the first thing I noticed is that the steering rod is still in the way of the oil drain port. The new ones do come with a Sten's valve, which I don't know how long those last being plastic, but that will at least make it easier for a while. The new pony can cut in reverse, as I mentioned earlier, but it also comes with a smaller engine. It's only 439 cc's and it doesn't give you the horsepower. And there are a few different models of the pony. There's a 42X, which is a little bigger. It has a 547 cc engine, and it also comes with anti-scalp wheels, and that one actually has an oil filter, and it's about $50 more than the standard pony. They also recommend 10W30 oil with the new ponies. Then they have a smaller one now. There's a pony with a 36-inch deck, and that one comes with a smaller engine as well. It's 382 cc's. But then the biggest difference is that the new ones come with Troy-Bilt engines, which I'm not too familiar with. Mine has a Briggs & Stratton engine, which I know some people aren't the biggest fan of, but I've never had any issues with mine. So the new Troy-Bilt engine might push me away from the new ponies, but obviously you can make that decision for yourself. If you have any input on those engines, feel free to put a comment below the video. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.